Hey, what's good, y'all? Fusion, Vegas, Smurfy here, back with another video. We got Witty Joey as a guest here. Vegas is out. He'll be in like 5 minutes because, well, y'all know how he is. But they're talking about some football shit. I'm going to be off mic because I don't know anything about it. So, yeah. I'll hand it over to you, Witty.
What's going on, guys? We got the whole crew here today talking some football. We're gonna hit the NFC East first. We're gonna go ahead and start by who we think is gonna win the division, and we're gonna rank them 1 through 4. So with me, I'm gonna start from the bottom, and worst team in that division is gonna be the Commanders. New quarterback, new offensive coordinator, a lot of pieces coming back from injury this year. Chase Young coming back. We got to see if he gets his groove going. And honestly, he's looking like he might be one of the worst offensive linemen on that. Worst defensive linemen on that front compared to the other boys they got with Payne, and I forgot the other guy's name. But I definitely have them coming in at 4. 3's tough because the Giants look like they're going to be better this year. They've added a whole bunch of new weapons at the wideout position.
Listen,
that defense is still going to
I'm
be
putting
good.
just a little preview.
Okay,
I'm putting Giants as 2. Boom, putting Giants as 2.
I can't
Giants is
stand
2.
you.
Fair enough. But let me see. Nah, I'm gonna keep him at 3 because I still think the Cowboys. I still think the Cowboys got a better roster, man. Cause they got the Tony Pollard, Deuce Vaughn 1-2 combo, but they gonna miss Zeke, and I know why they gonna miss Zeke. Cause Zeke is still the best running back when it comes to blitz protection. Y'all go look at the tape from 2021 to 2022 and 2022 to 2023. That him picking up blitz protection, he's still the best.
Sources.
That's why he has a job. Let's see, what else do we have? CeeDee Lamb has exploded into a true number 1. Then on top of that, with Brandon Cook, and somebody who's actually showing up in the preseason for them is Jalen Tolbert, and that was the guy they were expecting a lot from last year, and they're actually getting some production from him now. And then they're getting Michael Gallup back. This is his second year removed from that ACL injury, so I'm thinking he's probably going to be looking more back to form. That's probably why he got that 4-year contract a couple years ago. And then on their defensive side of the ball, they got better. They got Stephen Gilmore for a I can't remember, was that mid-season last year they got him, or was that after the off season? It was in the off season they traded for Gilmore to pair with Diggs, and then they still got Michael Parsons, who's going to be one of the top defenders once he gets his bag going, like his actual pass rushing moves to go along with that athleticism. Man, I haven't seen. He's one of those guys who, like, if you actually watch the games, because I hate the Cowboys, but I like watching Michael Parsons because he stands out, dude. He stands out. You will see him, especially on delayed blitzes, because his speed, man, just crazy for a defensive lineman. And first, I got the Eagles. The Eagles were trashing Deshaun Watson in practice last week from a couple of the reports I was reading. They got
That's
Jalen
obvious.
Carter. They got Jalen Carter on the defensive line to pair up with that to already pair with the best defensive line they had last year. They lost Hargreaves, I can't say his name right, to the 49ers, but I don't think they're missing. Just addition by subtraction. I would say this though, they might have one weakness that they didn't have last year. I don't think that secondary is going to play as well as they did last year. Because what's his name? Darius Slays, he's coming toward the end of that career, and James Bradbury, I think that was a fluke. He's had some good years in Carolina, but when he was with the Giants, there's a reason why the Giants got rid of him. There's a reason he's not still a Giant. And last year, he just played out of his mind good, but I don't think that's going to repeat next year. But then there's also they've also been raving about another receiver they found. the undrafted one from Clemson, Nagata, if I'm saying his name right, number 86, is like
What'd you
an
call me?
AJ Brown 2.0.
Oh my,
He's
what
a
a
big
what
body
what
receiver.
what a good jump in, Fusion. What a good jump in.
Well, you weren't even
Oh,
here
yeah,
when we
like
started the
conversation.
video. You were AFK.
All right, hold on,
Oh.
just keep going.
No, that's it for me.
All right. You want to go Smurfy?
Yeah, because I don't actually hear. I really don't want to hear your take. The fact that you have Giants at 2 sickens me, and I hate the Cowboys. But you can't
Oh my-
have the
Look,
Giants over
listen,
the
listen,
Cowboys.
listen.
You are
So
sick in the head.
I have the Eagles ranked 1. Like I'm on the boat with what Whitty said about the defense of the secondary for the Eagles not showing out this year like they did last year. So I still have them at number 1 just because again they're stacked. But in terms of like the Giants and the Cowboys, the only reason I have Cowboys down this year is because I don't trust Dak. I don't trust Dak. They got rid of their offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, and I'm supposed to trust Dak and what he's been doing with Kellen Moore. And I'm like, okay. So I do like CeeDee Lamb, but I still think they still need like another a second wide receiver for Dak to throw to
Brandon
besides
Cooks?
CeeDee Lamb. I'm still not sold in terms of
On Brandon Cooks?
on Brandon Cooks. So that's kind of the thing. And the thing for me with the Giants is that
I agree with that.
the file that I forgot the coach's name for the Giants now. Brian Dable. His resume has been stacking in terms of what he's been doing with QBs and what they do to QB when he gets there and when he leaves. And you can see that with Josh Allen. His quarterback play is going down as the year goes by, which another hot take. I think Josh Allen is going to do terrible this year. The Bills are not going to be a good team this year. They're going to question if Josh Allen is the guy this year because he's going to keep throwing interceptions. That's kind of my thing for the Bills right now. I don't have them high this year, but I think Daniel Jones is going to take a jump this year.
You are sick.
He's gonna take a jump this year again. He's gonna take a jump. I still don't.
Oh, I
think,
can't stand you.
I still don't think Daniel Jones is their guy, but I think he's gonna take a jump for them to be better than the Cowboys. I don't trust the Cowboys. I don't like Cowboys, but I don't trust the Cowboys and Dak Prescott for what they have done with their reputation for Dak Prescott for having the lineup and having the coaching staff that he has and still doing the things that he's doing. I don't trust them. So I would rather trust the Giants, who they have nothing to lose, who they probably think, hey, we're the Giants here. We're building something. Us getting to the playoffs is already a good stepping stone, and us probably beating the Cowboys in the division and being above them is another stepping stone. So I think the Giants have nothing to lose. I think they'll still be good. They'll be good this year. So that's why I'm ranking them above the Cowboys. And if the Cowboys do badly this year, then that's bad for them. But if the Cowboys or if the Giants are, say, like a game short, or they're just, I guess, even with the Cowboys, I still think that's a win because there's no way the Cowboys should be next to the Giants with what the Cowboys are trying to aim for, which is obviously a title.
Nah, I'll disagree with you on that. I think they're a little bit closer than that. The Giants got better.
You're higher on the Giants then.
Because as you were doing your soliloquy, or I hope I said that right.
You did.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Dude sound like a monkey.
But
Whoa.
you got me thinking because the Giants, they're so much deeper on one of their biggest problems last year was pass catching. But now they got Darren Waller, they still got Bellinger, they got double tight end formation, they got Barkley, they got Jalen Hyatt. Who else? They signed somebody else too at the receiver position. Dang it, I can't remember.
I don't know, but the Giants for me is like I can at least see them. I see an identity with them. I see quick play action, dump offs to Waller, and then using Saquon Barkley. That's what I see for Giants. I don't see the biggest thing for me is like they're trying to make sure that Daniel Jones doesn't make mistakes, and he has shown to have not done that. So that's why I'm on them.
Okay, that's so. What's your rankings? I need to. The Giants love here is getting.
I put Eagles 1. I'm putting Cowboys. Or I'm putting Giants 2nd. It's close. Again, it's close. Cowboys and Giants are like very close to each other, but I want to play Giants 2nd, Cowboys 3rd, and then Washington last.
And here's the other thing: there's a lot of parity in this division. If Sam Howell ends up coming and playing like a decent QB, Washington could very well. I see all 4 teams.
They could pop up out of nowhere just because I don't have anything on Sam Howell right now, so I have to put him as last. But if he just pops up out of nowhere, then Washington can make a surprise jump.
And then what is it? I think the NFC overall is weaker.
Yep. So they can't win like random games that they shouldn't be winning.
We went over, didn't we?
So I was trying to point out. The Giants don't make no sense. First, I want to talk about the Giants make no. The fact that y'all here bank. So you're talking about their pass catchers. The quarterbacks supposed to throw the ball to the pass catchers. When is Daniel Jones going to be a prolific passer? This man has never been a prolific passer. Never will be. He's just not that kind of quarterback. Ain't no way. It does not matter who they got. It does not matter. You have him 1 year. Daniel Jones is not. Daniel Jones is who Daniel Jones is. He's a guy who's honestly he's pretty good on the run, and he's just not accurate. He's a guy that you can maybe, if Saquon is a full year, or if there's any his play. If you look at the numbers, his production is awful without Saquon. So you're really banking everything on Saquon because you mean he can't catch out of the game. He can only. If you have a lead, he can probably help maintain that, but you have to have a lead. On top of that, my issue is the Cowboys. Their defense is ridiculously good. I'm gonna throw out some HBCU love for Isaiah Land because not only is that defensive line stacked on the front end, but they have depth pieces. And you got Isaiah Land who's at FAMU. That dude's nasty. He's nice. He's had a good preseason. I just wanted to shout him out because I don't think he gets enough love. But I think the Cowboys will have one of the best defenses, and I believe in Dak more than I believe in Daniel Jones. I'm just gonna go out and say that. We've seen Dak at his highest. Now that could be where his peak is, but when we've seen him do something up to that avail, we've never seen Daniel Jones take a jump at all. I mean, just last year was his quote unquote jump, but it was literally him not turning the ball over every goddamn game.
Big jump.
So, but I don't know. Dak
shouldn't be a big jump.
Yeah, Dak almost averaged an interception a game
their
last
offense is explosive, but Dak's offense is explosive, so they can come back in games and win them games. The Giants offense isn't designed. Like, remember I know you remember that 2020 Saints offense. We literally had to play perfect on offense, or if we had a turnover, we were not going to win the game because our offense was just not designed with Drew Brees' arm. We couldn't throw back in the games. So even though Dak will probably have more turnovers than Daniel Jones, they can throw back in the games. Because again, I'm not a big CeeDee Lamb guy, but he's definitely shown that to be a great receiver right now in the NFL from last year. I agree with the Jan Tolbert thing. Jan Tolbert's been looking nasty. If Michael Gallup can stay healthy for a whole year, or even like 12 games, just 12 games, they will be fine at receiver. Because even though I'm not a big Brandon Cooks guy, because I've seen him, I know who he is, I know what he does. He's gonna get you maybe like some key catches in there. He shouldn't get you more than 400 yards this year, maybe 500 at the maximum. Yeah, he's just not that guy. He's like the fourth receiver.
I need another wide receiver too for the Cowboys. Like just CeeDee Lamb alone is not enough for me. And then
I like Jan Tolbert. I like Tolbert and I like Gallup enough, but Cooks to me just is not like reliable enough to be a receiver 2. He's a good maybe 3 or 4, but I'd rather see more Tolbert. Yeah, you are sick. I know you watch some Saints games. That man is not. You can't have a guy who's like 5'5" out here trying to catch passes as your receiver 1 or receiver 2. That's just not. He's a good slot guy. He probably should be a slot guy this year. Maybe
they need a guy who can like fight for 50-50 balls.
Well, that's what Michael Gallup is. Well, Gallup can do that, and he just needs to play the full. That's why I'm saying if he has 12 games, he's good. Yeah, they'll be good. And then the offensive line, Zach Martin's back, so their offensive line should be back to normal as long as they also stay healthy. On top of Tyler Smith looked great last year too. So
I'll counter this argument on their third receiver. They got Tony. They could they got Deuce Vaughn now at running back, so they could do. They
He's
could get a
nasty.
little. They could get creative and start lining Tony Pollard back out at his natural position at receiver. Tony Pollard is nice. I hate the Cowboys, but boy, I love Tony. I love me some Tony Pollard and Micah Parsons. Boy, I ain't gonna lie.
They say healthy, then that's fine. But I will say, I'm not a big Sam Howell guy. I was never a big guy. I will not sleep on that team because one, they have Scary Terry, who's I think one of the most underrated. People forget how himmy he is. That man will make anybody look good. Then Jahan Dotson was sneaky good in the red zone. It was like no one talked about him, but the man was like crazy efficient in the red zone. So they have two really good options. And Josh Downs from UNC has been like, lighting up in camp. So I'm loving that. Offensive line, I think should be solid. I don't think it'll be great, but it should be okay, serviceable. So, and your two running backs, Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson, should both be fantastic options for. So, Sam Howell should have all the pieces. And with the enemy, we need to see like, no one knows who he is really without like Mahomes. So this will be a really interesting. I'm gonna watch a lot of this game because even though I'm gonna spend an arm and a damn leg for a Sunday ticket, I'm guns to do it, and I hate it, but I will do it. And I'm gonna watch those games because I want to see how that play calling goes. Because if Sam Howell can just be decent, and if again Chase Young, to your point, Chase Young, if he can get to where he was drafted to be, and then the rest of our defensive line can do what they continue to do, then we're looking at potentially the Giants can slide down. I'm just gonna go and say the Giants can slide down because again, I feel like they overperformed last year a little bit, like Ryan Daboll, but they are hinging on Daniel Jones either being what he was last year and barely making the playoffs, or they're hinging on Saquon staying healthy the full year. Because if Saquon's not healthy the full year, there's no way. Ain't no way. Because I don't know who's like, I can't even think of their backups right now, but they just aren't. They aren't that. They're not. Saquon should have gotten 4 years and paid and should be running this offense for 1,500 yards this season.
Fun fact, the Giants average 80 more, I think 88 plus more yards with Saquon on offense when he isn't. That's a lot. That's a big difference.
And then people make the point, oh, Daniel Jones, he won the playoff game against the Vikings. Literally, Saquon Barkley had 5 receptions for 50 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns that game and 50 yards rushing. He had 100 yards, and people were saying that, oh, no, Daniel Jones did all that. Yeah, he had some rushing yards, but his passing was all mostly because of Saquon, and you didn't have, now you will say you have more weapons now with Jalen Hyatt. I really like Waller. If he can play the full freaking year, then yeah, and Danny Bender is nasty, but I just don't believe in Daniel Jones enough. I think this is a quarterback-driven league, so you have to go based off quarterbacks. So I have right now, number one, I do have the Eagles. Jalen Hurts just looked that part. I'm not worried about the corners as much when you have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in the middle. They're just going to be unguardable. I just don't see them being like guardable consistently especially with these their interior lines. I don't know how they'll hold up against these two young defensive tackles that they can rotate on top of Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean. The secondary. I agree though. The secondary kind of overplayed what they were last year. I do think Darius Slay is going to be questionable he gets older, but he still saw a corner. Losing CJ kind of hurt them a lot, so I'll be curious to see if their safety help will be on that level. But man, the Eagles are number one, so it's all quarterback-driven league. So Jalen Hurts is basically number one with the Eagles, and then their offense is great. I'm not going to talk about it. They don't need any explanation. Number two, I have the Cowboys. I can't with the Daniel Jones thing. I really can't. They're 3, and they are barely 3. I will only give them 3 because Sam Howell is a rookie quarterback, and the enemy is also an unknown commodity, essentially, in a way. So that's why I have him at 4. But I tell you right now, after week 1, I will quickly switch it around. I will quickly move Giants to the number 4. With the quickness, I will do it.
What if they lose?
If the Giants lose, I'm moving them down immediately. And no matter how bad Washington is, unless Washington looks god awful, they will move down to 4. I will move the Giants down to 4. I just don't think that they're thinking that they can hinge on a guy to throw the ball. Now, I will say they do have a good backup quarterback, so there's anything question marks on Daniel Jones, or he's not doing well enough for them, they could go to Taylor and then not be a big drop off, if at all. And he has.
You know what's funny? That week 1, it's Cowboys versus the Giants at Giants.
So that'll be interesting to see because this will be. I fully expect our reactions to this, a reaction video maybe to this then, because
that was his favorite.
I didn't know Vegas was a Giants truther over here.
I have a strong feeling Giants are going to win this game. I have a strong feeling Giants are going to win that game.
No, I will be shocked and disgusted if somehow the Cowboys defense doesn't just destroy Daniel Jones.
Wait, the Cowboys beat the Giants
it'll be a
twice
close
last year,
name,
right?
huh?
Yeah, they beat them twice last year. It wasn't even the Cowboys shut them down twice last year. Yeah, it wasn't even close.
I think it'll be a closer game this year. So.
This man is unhinged. You're on demon time, Vegas. You're on demon time.
We on demon time. We are on demon time right now. We are going with the
Damn.
hot takes. The hot
We went,
takes.